Hello, and happy Monday morning. My name is Brendan Walsh. I'm the Dean for the School of Culinary Arts and the Dean for the School of Baking and Pastry Arts. And today, as we learn a little bit more about the Menus of Change Kitchen, I'm just going to ask you to imagine with me for a little bit. We can think about the kitchen and the food service operations of the future in a different way. And Menus of Change Kitchen ask us to do that and has done that. And we're hoping that through the power of us looking at things differently, we can transform our industry into something which is better for all people. So one of the things that I wanted to do with you today was just to quickly talk to you about the power of the mind. The mind is a beautiful thing. This mind that you have is something that helps to protect you, helps to care for you, helps you to find things that bring you joy, but it's constantly going and it's constantly moving. And we know that when we can calm and relax the mind, we can become more receptive, we can use it to improve someone's physical and mental health and well-being. It's been scientifically proven. Mindfulness practices has shown us that we can do things such as help in disease control, disease prevention. We know that it has helped people from cancer patients on through heart patients. So we know the power of calming the mind. And we know that the mind is a good thing. It's meant to protect you and to bring you joy. But when it's out of balance and we never spend any time practicing calming that mind, then we always find ourselves always in this flight or fight mode, and we're always moving and we find ourselves very stressed out. And the releasing of stress is so important. And we know it because we live in an era of stress. We're living in a kitchen space, which is stressful, and demands on us for time and to be ready at a certain moment to provide is very, very powerful. So how do we create a restaurant of the future or a food service establishment of the future that incorporates more of this mindfulness practices, that helps us to think about our relationship to a bigger picture, to other people, to ourselves, to having self-compassion. So one of the things I wanted to get to you today was very, very simple, and it's just a couple of little things that focus on our breath. Because in focusing on our breath, we can calm the mind. When we calm the mind, we reach a state of less stress. And we can change our perspective with just 3 breaths. 3 breaths will change your perspective. So I'm going to ask you to practice something with me today. And it's very, very simple. Since we spend a lot of time either cutting or chopping, or for me, I'm spending a decent amount of time on a computer. As students, I'm sure you're spending a ton of time on computers doing work, right? So what I'm going to ask you to do is just get into a comfortable position, and I'm going to ask you to bring your hands together. Put your hands underneath your chin. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Take another deep breath in as you bring your elbows out and up, and then sigh it out as you bring your neck back and bring your elbows to touch. Big breath in. And one more. And in that one moment, you've relaxed yourself, you've relaxed your mind, you've helped take a little pressure off your back and off your neck. Now let's just take it to another situation. You're in the real world, and you are about to go into a kitchen space. You're about to have a lot of pressure put on you. You know you have a lot of demands, so you're already stressed out before you even reach that environment. It could be a meeting that you have to go to. It could be a class that you have to go to do a presentation. So this is a great practice that has helped me incredibly in my life. And it's very, very simple. It's a focus on the breath. And it's simply, before you enter the environment, you stop for a minute. You can close your eyes if you're in the right space, or you just set your intention, your gaze on one point, and take a deep breath in and breathe it out. Do this with me. Now, if you can do this up to 10 times and you could just focus on your breath, you're going to calm your mind. And in calming your mind, you're going to relieve your stress. It's going to help you focus. It'll help reduce the amount of anguish that you have, anxiety. You'll have a little more compassion for yourself. And with compassion for yourself, you bring that into the space that you're going into. Now think and imagine what it would be if chefs were more mindful. The treatment of the food. We know that there's a relationship to our treatment of the food and how it goes out to other people and how much better it could be for people. I'll give you an example. I spent some time in a Buddhist monastery and they had a silent kitchen. No talking. The only communication were verbal cues. That was it. It was a beautiful, peaceful, stressless environment, a wonderful environment for just finding peace and eliminating stress and staying mindful, being in the moment, staying right there, present, totally focused on what was right in front of you, caring about what it was. That transforms into the food, no matter how simple that food is. And that transforms to the people that are outside, and that brings them joy. Great joy. Now, when we just slop it out, obviously that's not going to be mindful. That's not going to be beautiful. And that's why we're here. The MOC Kitchen asks us to reimagine that. And also asks us to think about our relationship with a bigger world. It asks us to think about how we can be better to each other. Because a lot of times in the kitchen, we do a lot of trash talking, right? So trash talking gets us through the rush and so on. Well, that trash talking can be very hurtful, especially when we say something that we didn't mean. By helping to breathe and maybe taking a breath before we speak, we create enough space to say, is that something really that we need to put into the air? Is that something that's going to offend someone? I think if we did that a little bit more, how much better our world could be. So I implore you to use some of those practices and use them as you go forward and think and imagine what a future food service operation can be. That's what the MOC Kitchen is about. So please enjoy and get the most out of this session, and especially since we have our wonderful Alexandra Sarabelli sharing some wonderful thoughts and some practices and what she's accomplished. It's a great opportunity. And don't forget, take a few minutes and just focus on your breath and be here, be now, right now. Peace to all of you.